This is really following on from the karmic consequences video that I did a few weeks ago now, I think. And I hesitated really to do this because I know I do bang on quite a lot about safety, but it is something that I think is really, really important, and I don't think there's enough said really about it, especially if we've got someone very new to the craft or to magical practices. I think sometimes the general wellspring of information that's out there is just sort of doesn't really address the issue. So that is why I decided to do this. So as I say, it follows on from the karmic consequences, where I stressed the importance of divination before doing any spell work. And this is one reason that it's so important to have some sort of system of divination in place. It doesn't have to be tarot. I use tarot, and I think a lot of practitioners are familiar with tarot. But you can use other methods, and what I have here is just the positions that you might want to use for whatever other method of divination, whether it's runes, whether it's the witch's runes, or whatever it is. I don't know, you can adapt it, is what I'm saying. Because I think as witches and magicians, however competent or new to the craft, we are the ones out there trying to change reality. We are the ones who are, I won't say messing about with cosmic forces, but yeah, it fits, doesn't it? We are the ones trying to subvert, trying to harness cosmic forces, and there are dangers. There are many dangers to that. And by using a system of divination before you embark on whatever it is you're doing, it is a safeguard. It is not a fail-safe method, however, because there are just so many unknowns in the practice or in the execution of spell work. There are many unknowns, and yeah, that's now the first thing to remember is that the divination itself must not be done until the spell work or the ritual that you are proposing is fully planned, so that you're at you're at the point of beginning. You are where you want to be. You know the procedures, you know all the elements that you're going to be putting into that spell work. So it must be at that point of readiness, because otherwise the divination itself, there won't be all the information there available for examination within your divination. Now, what I'm taking this particular work from is this book here, although there are other ideas out there. I do believe Michael Craig sets out a system for this kind of divination. I don't know, can you see that? It's Eden McKay. There we are. I do believe he sets out a system, but this is this one I particularly like, and it's fairly simple and straightforward, so that's what we're working from. And this is the kind of setup that we're using for the card spread. So we're beginning with number 1. So this is the need or the intent. So this is a fairly straightforward interpretation. Well, it should be, but it may offer, as Eden McKay says, it may offer some insight that you know that was missing before. Then we're going to number 2, and these are the underlying needs, or this card provides a look at the root of the desire, the real reasons. So we might be going into subconscious territory here. So it's important. This card is really important because there may be issues underlying your intent, your need, that you may feel that actually you need a bit more time to address. So then we're going to number 3, and these are the hidden influences. It looks at the energies working on the spell, again, some of which you may not be aware of, and so this is also a really important area. I've written here soul because sometimes the ego and the soul are in opposition. So what the ego may want, the soul may be opposed to, and those are your deeper, your higher self, maybe your deeper spiritual impetus in a sense. So, and when the soul and the ego are in opposition, then the soul will generally win out. And so this is what we're going to look at in this card. So going on to number 4, this is the influence of others, or more exoteric rather than esoteric influences. So this might include the feelings and the energies being projected onto you from other people. This could be in a good way, such as, love and care coming from loved ones, but also they might be blocking what you think you want. So this should be talking to you about those things. So then we come to number 5 here, which is going to highlight any weaknesses in your spell. Again, going back to the witch's pyramid really, and the layers that should be in place, like to know, to will, to dare, to be silent. And is all of this covered? And this should highlight if there's something amiss here in this area. Then going on to number 6, we have the opposite. So the strengths that are apparent within that, within your spell work. And so if this is a fairly neutral card, then as with this, as with number 5, if these are fairly neutral, you can be quite confident in moving forward. So then we come to 7, 8 and 9. These very much interact with each other. So in number 7, we're looking at changes that will be apparent in the astral, so in your inner world, inner changes that will be affected. affected, not affected, in your spell work. And with number 8, we're looking at more of the physical changes, so material changes that you might see, even byproducts that may arise as a result of the spell work itself. And then of course number 9 is the actual outcome, the overall outcome. So we're looking at benefits, success, we're looking at results that we may be seeing, we're looking at any harm that may come as a result of the spell work. So I'll just pop that up so that it's a bit clearer, but that is basically a very good system, I think, to help us before we begin. And I think most witches certainly understand the responsibility that they have. They know that they are the instigators when they begin spell work, and they know that if it doesn't work, or if, you know, the worst happens, it goes wrong, it backfires, then it's down to them. And I think that's such an important thing, and it's a wonderful thing as a magical practitioner. If if they're operating if I am operating in my right mind, then I need to be aware, because sometimes this can affect our loved ones, this can affect the people around us if we go very much off-piste. Blessings to you all.